Listening to ZhuXian's endless scolding, it seemed like he wouldn't finish until tomorrow. Seeing his appearance, the two seemingly divine men frowned, glanced at each other, and simultaneously withdrew their magical treasures. The woman said, "Senior brother, I don't sense any demonic energy from them. They don't seem to be monsters." The man agreed. Indeed, then he turned to ZhuXian and shouted loudly to interrupt ZhuXian's long-winded speech. "Who are you people?" ZhuXian was taken aback for a moment, then quickly put on a calm and peaceful expression, saying, "Haha, we are here because we learned that there are monsters infesting this place. We came here specifically to vanquish evil and protect the people." Huan was speechless beside him, staring at her grandfather, only to see ZhuXian acting as if nothing had happened, with a calm demeanor. However, the man looked them up and down, sneering, "You seem to have shallow cultivation. I'm afraid you can't even handle an ordinary minor demon. How dare you come to such a dangerous place? It's better to go back now." ZhuXian blushed, saying, "Yes, yes." Then he pulled Huan and turned to leave. Watching the old man and the young girl disappear into the darkness, the two divine figures furrowed their brows and exchanged a glance. They both retracted their magical treasures. The woman said, "Senior brother, I didn't sense any demonic energy from them. They don't seem to be demonic beings." The man agreed. Indeed, he then turned his head to look at the cliff ahead, saying, "Sister, it seems we need to go down." The beautiful woman nodded. "Yes, this time we're truly fortunate to learn from the town that these remnants of the demon fox are hiding in this black stone cave. If we can truly eliminate the demonic beings and recover the fire mirror, the valley master will surely be delighted." The man smiled confidently. "No time to waste. Let's go." With that, their light shone, and the man and woman, like flashes of lightning, descended into the bottomless abyss below the cliff. But above the cliff, in the darkness, a flicker of firelight appeared, and ZhuXian and Huan slowly returned, having not gone too far. ZhuXian frowned, pondering for a moment, then said to Huan, "These two young people have excellent aptitude and profound cultivation. Just now, I saw that they had embroidered a flame pattern on the edge of their sleeves. They're likely disciples of the Incense Valley." Huan was surprised. "Incense Valley?" ZhuXian nodded. "The influence of the Incense Valley is immense. In the cultivation world, it is one of the three major orthodox sects, alongside Qingyun Sect and Tianyin Temple, with many highly skilled practitioners. Recently, I heard that two outstanding disciples have emerged again, one male named Li Zun and one female named Yin Hong. Judging from the magic treasures they just displayed, they are most likely these two." Huan glanced down at the cliff and couldn't help but worrying, "What about those three who just went down ... ZhuXian shrugged and pulled Huan away, saying, "We can't control that anymore. Anyway, tonight is so lively, we won't gain any advantage. It's a pity." Huan chuckled lightly and didn't say anything, following her grandfather outside. Only the cliff below remained pitch black, and the figures of Li Zun and Yin Hong had long disappeared. Zhang Xiaofan found himself in darkness. Besides the increasing temperature around him and occasional stares from strange monsters, there was a feeling as if he had returned to the death abyss once again. The surrounding caves grew larger and larger. At this moment, most cave entrances were about 1 to 2 people tall, and the monsters inside became fiercer and larger in size. However, there were also more and more empty caves. The stench of blood in the air seemed to grow stronger. Even during his descent, he faintly heard the sound of chewing coming from an unknown place, like some unknown behemoth tearing and swallowing food, sending shivers down his spine. At a moment when everyone's muscles were tense, and they could almost hear their own heartbeats, suddenly, a violent wind blew from below Zhang Xiaofan's feet. Almost instinctively, he moved his heart, and in the instant the wind touched his body, he quickly moved 3 feet to the side. Bang! With a loud noise, illuminated by faint light, a huge, tentacle-like thing swung past Zhang Xiaofan's side and heavily struck the pitch-black stone wall. The entire cliff seemed to tremble, and dust flew up, with large and small rocks falling. After a moment, a piercing scream suddenly echoed from the abyss, and the sound of roaring echoed on the cliff wall, filled with madness. Zhang Xiaofan and the others were stunned, looking back, only to see that the huge, ghostly tentacle tentacle had rushed into a huge cave in the cliff wall, writhed a few times, and then retracted. Zhang Xiaofan gasped for cold air, feeling a foul wind blowing towards him. A large-sized five-eyed sword-toothed monster, caught by the huge tentacle, was forcibly dragged out of the cave. Although the sword-toothed monster roared and struggled, its body, twice the size of an ordinary person, seemed as small as a baby compared to the unbelievable size of the tentacle, and it was powerless. Once the tentacle caught the monster, it quickly retracted into the darkness below. In the blink of an eye, it disappeared into the darkness, leaving only the desperate roar of the monster. The three of them stopped in their tracks, their faces pale, especially Bai Yao, whose face was even paler. The darkness below their feet was deep and bottomless, and they had no idea how many terrifying things were hidden within it. After a moment, the stone coughed lightly, about to speak, but Bai Yao's sharp eyes suddenly exclaimed, "Watch out below." Zhang Xiaofan and Stone were startled again and hurriedly looked down, only to see a flash of fire in the darkness below. In an instant, the temperature in the surrounding space soared, and the firelight quickly expanded, accompanied by the howling hot wind. As it approached, the three of them saw clearly. Their faces immediately changed. They saw a fire dragon, roaring wildly, surging and roaring from the depths of the earth. The appearance of the fire dragon was similar to the one summoned by the profound fire mirror by the three-tailed demon fox earlier, but for some reason, the fire dragon at this moment was much larger and more powerful in size and momentum than the one summoned on the surface. Although they had doubts in their minds, this was not the time to think about it. They watched as the fire dragon, ferocious and hot, rushed towards them. In an instant, it was overwhelming, and the three of them hurriedly separated, driving their magic treasures to avoid its edge. The three-colored magic treasures all emitted bright light, protecting their owners, but the power of the fire dragon was too great. In comparison, these magic treasures were immediately suppressed by its aura. Zhang Xiaofan and the other two were almost simultaneously pushed back by the huge waves of fire, and after a moment, they crashed into the cliff wall with a bang. The fire dragon soared into the sky with amazing momentum. Zhang Xiaofan's back hit the hard rock wall, causing him to see stars. But he was lucky. After he slightly regained his senses, he saw Stone's massive figure standing steadily, having entered a cave, and unfortunately, soon after, roars of beasts came from within the cave. Zhang Xiaofan was shocked and was about to rush over to help, but he only heard Stone's roar, and suddenly, there were banging sounds from the cave.